Hey, up. Yeah, I'm going to do. This is my 90-second pickups video. I I wasn't planning on doing this sort of straight away because I've got. I'm bidding on a game on eBay. It's quite, for me personally, it's quite sort of a significant game. Not the game itself. It's just because it's one of the very last few PS2 games that I want to get. And so I was the auction finishes about this time tomorrow. It's Saturday now. It finishes on Sunday. I was hoping if I won it, I'd include it in this pickups video. So I was going to wait a little bit longer, but then I'm quite aware that it's been quite a while since my last pickups video. Pickups video, just video in general. So I don't want to leave it that long. I know I do sort of the original idea of doing like two or three videos a week fell by the wayside years ago. But I never like to leave it too long. It depends how lazy I'm feeling. But I did actually film a video yesterday, and this video is also a bit of a heads up about that one. I didn't really feel like uploading it straight away. I just wanted to give you a warning because it's about it's just a video about films I've watched, and it's 40 minutes long. So I just thought you might need a warning that it's on its way. And also I do sort of lose track slightly, like halfway through. Then I'll bring it back. I bring it back well at the end, but halfway through, I tend to sort of zone out. Things grind to a halt, and I tend to sort of quite a lot. There's quite a lot of staring off into space. But yeah. So what's been going down? Not much. Same old, same old. Been. Oh, that yeah. I closed down my Facebook channel. I read an article. It's right here. Read an article about how the web has lost its way, and it's basically about how Tim Berners-Lee doesn't like the way that he's sort of the initial idea for his invention has been sort of corrupted. It was sort of like an egalitarian. It's supposed to be like a forum for the exchange of ideas for the greater good, and sort of away from like the influence of government and big business. But it's obviously that's not how it's turned out, is it? But I mean, there was an idea. There was an idea in the article about some town in America where sort of 90% of the black population didn't have running water, and that changed through an internet campaign, and that's the sort of thing. I think that was the sort of thing that Tim Berners-Lee initially created the internet for. And obviously, so it's it ain't that no more, is it? It's all manner of shit. So in the actual article, man, really were angry. Just so in a fit of, and it does talk about Facebook a lot and Twitter. In a fit of I closed down my Facebook account. And they give you for no particular reason. They give you 2 weeks. It says this will take 2 weeks. Because you've got an option, you can deactivate it, which is basically you can deactivate it and you can reactivate it any time you like, or you can close it down, delete it, and for no particular reason they give you 2 weeks. No particular, they don't actually say why they give you 2 weeks, and there's no reason why it should take 2 weeks, but they give you 2 weeks, and it's obviously they hope they'll change your mind in the meantime, but no way. I'm a stubborn bastard. I do feel slightly out on a limb now, bit isolated though. Bit of a Billy No Mates, but yeah. So I feel slightly sort of proud of myself, But at the same time, I've been. I went out today, not a sausage today. I worked it out. I worked it out. I went out. There was an occasion I went out a few weeks ago. I worked it out, not including dedicated game selling outlets like Game or CEX. I worked it out that I went to 32 different places that could potentially sell video games, meaning cash generator type shops, charity shops, and the car boot. And no, it was like not a sausage in 30. No, actually, no, two DVDs, two 99p DVDs, one which has subsequently been traded to CEX for a bit of credit. Not a sausage in 32 different outlets. Not a sausage today. Sometimes, I mean, obviously it comes and goes, peaks and troughs and all that. But sometimes it feels like, you imagine if you're scavenging for food in the zombie apocalypse and all you ever find is jars of pickled eggs. I hate pickled eggs. Just trudging the streets. Trudging, wearing your shoes out. I've worn my shoes out, actually. I've got big holes on my shoes just from trudging the streets. Trudging. Not a sausage. I could have, I could have had sausages. I didn't want sausages. But what am I talking about? I don't know. I won't waste any more of your time. This is actually going to be quite a quick pickups video. Like I said, it wasn't intended to be uploaded now or made now. I was going to be sort of slightly later, maybe next week. But I'm not convinced I'm going to end up with this game tomorrow. So I thought, sod it, I'll do it now, because otherwise I'll have to upload that video I did yesterday, and that's a bit of a chore. But yeah, I'll show these two pickups. DVDs first. There's only two. One that came, the other one that I sold on 99p was the 99p for the 5th series of The Wire. Not bad, but this one I kept. It's Zatoichi's Pilgrimage. Zatoichi's Pilgrimage. I've always sort of intended to buy this sort of thing. I mean, obviously, it's totally unrelated, or apart from the character, obviously, it's unrelated from the Takeshi Kitano film, isn't it? But this is just a series of. I've never actually seen them. Series of films. I did buy it on one occasion. Shogun Assassin, the film they talk about, or the film they mention in Kill Bill. I bought it, but it was dubbed, so I had to take it back. There's no one watching dubbed film. It was ridiculous. It was funny. It's not supposed to be funny. It's like people being hacked up like left, right, and centre, and like spurts of blood and stuff. That ain't funny. So you don't need the dub. So no, and things like this, and was it like the Baby Cart series, and Zatoichi. I'm always meant to watch them, but never got round to it. But I thought finally I'll give it a crack. So this is Zatoichi's Pilgrimage, because I'm into that sort of thing. There's some people out there. I know Minx likes that sort of thing, don't he? And the only other DVD I've got, it's supposed to be really good. I don't know too much about it, but I remember reading reviews and it went straight on my list. It's called Army of Crime. It's about a motley crew of resistance during the Second World War. Like I think it's Armenians and French and just sort of a general motley crew of people fighting against the Nazis in the Second World War, and it's supposed to be really good. Look, again, only 4 stars, but stars all the same. You wouldn't put 1 star on there, would you? Got 4 stars on the back, and it was features a can, so you don't get any old rubbish at can, do you? No. There you go. That's just the 2 DVDs. The actual standard of games isn't all that. The best thing by a long shot is I did it as a sort of trade with Dave Diamond Geezer. I'm a Game Geek, so I'll leave those to the end. I've had them a while, and it's another reason for doing my pickups video now. So I need to show them because I've had them too long, and it's just not fair, is it? So most of these first 4 are out and abouts. Nothing too like spectacular. First one is an Xbox game. It was only £1, and it's one of the sorts of games that you put on your list, but you don't want to pay too much for. But you would still like. It's Kingdom Under Fire. Under Fire. It's sort of like sort of fantasy based, sort of like Dynasty Warriors type game. I'm not at all into Dynasty Warriors, but those sort of the Kingdom Under Fire series, especially on the original Xbox, have always interested me. And they're slightly different from Dynasty Warriors in that I think it's a bit more tactical. I don't know. Yeah, these are all pretty much random purchases. There's another one, Resident Evil Dead Aim. It's not this. I mean, it doesn't get spoken about a lot, but the actual premise is actually quite interesting. It's sort of a cross between a light gun shooter and a. Because you control yeah, you can use light gun. It doesn't actually. It does. Optional controllers, yeah. Analog stick compatible. Oh, yeah, G-Con 2 and G-Con 45 controller support. So yeah, but I know you can control a character in third person, but then it changes to the first person, and it's like a light gun shooter when you encounter enemies, which is quite interesting, and which sort of feels in a way a bit like my guilty pleasure, Resident Evil Survivor on the PS1. And this next one, and a game that I've been looking on the lookout for ever since the reviews were out, and it's a Wii game. Again, I didn't really want to pay too much for it because it's not an expensive game. It's especially really good Punch Out. So, yeah. This came from, I'd had mentioned, I think it was one of my recent pickups videos, I did mention that all of the branches of cash generators have closed down near me, and they have, but there was some sort of a bit further out that, they're still there. So I'm guessing someone must have owned all the branches near me and gone out of business. So one person must have owned them all. They've all gone out of business. There's none, I don't know it's a cash generator, but at the same time, it's still a place potentially where you can buy video games. And I like that unknown element of going to someone like that or a charity shop, whatever. And, there's always the idea you might find something. And so it's a bit sort of slightly disappointing to have one less place to potentially buy video games. But this one was a bit further out, so like Itchy Nose, a bit further out. It's supposed to be really good. I always remember the reviews being pretty good. It was only $1.99, so there you go. This was the last random purchase from a charity shop for £1. It's called Mad Maestro. This was on the same release as Mr. Mosquito. I don't think it doesn't really have the same sort of cult appeal as Mr. Mosquito, because I think this is essentially a rhythm action game, but it's supposed to be pretty mental. You play it does actually conduct. You're like a conductor, and you have to create this sort of symphony orchestra in this sort of full of wacky characters in this town, and no, I don't really know how it works, but it does actually use classical music, like actual proper classical music, which is a bit unusual. Not just random tunes or random pop music. It is actually classical music, but it's a rhythm action game, and interestingly, it uses the touch sensitivity on the thumbsticks on the PS2, which you don't really get much of. There aren't many games that actually use that. I mean, it's like colour coded sort of, icons on the screen, depending on how hard you push the thumbsticks, which is interesting in itself. Look, Brahms, Strauss, Mozart, Tchaikovsky, Schubert, Beethoven, and more. Is that I'm not really interested into classical music, but it's novelty. I think it's okay. I think there's a little leaflet on the inside that mentions it as one of these releases alongside. Where is it? There we go. from the Japanese underground. There you go, from the Japanese underground with Mr. Mosquito. So I thought I'd give it a pop. It's only £1, but like I said, I don't think I did actually mention that I was going to cut out buying all these novelties. But I think it's supposed to be a worthwhile game. It's not. I mean, when I mentioned novelties in the past, it was things like, what have I got? Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, which is garbage but funny. I was going to try and cut out those sort of garbage but funny games. But, one and only eBay purchase, apart from hopefully the game that I'm hopefully win tomorrow. It's called Star Ixiom. Nothing major. This only cost me £4, just over £4, but can actually go for a bit more. I think if you have to buy it now, it'll go around about maybe up to a tenner, which I think is probably too much because it's as you pretty much as it looks. It's like a Colony Wars clone, but a bit more tactical. And also there's elements where you can walk around a space station. I think you basically have to manage space stations that are in each space station affords you certain things, like certain abilities. I think there's some develop new technology which you can use with your craft, but then they get attacked and then you have to defend these space stations. I think that's how it works. But I bought this. I have actually got it, but it didn't have a manual and it was sort of nagging away at me. Pardon me, sorry. It was nagging away at me, so I thought it's just a loose end that needed tying up. So I'm going to obviously get the best. Actually, they're both in really good nick, apart from one was without a manual. But I'm going to take the best constituent parts to make a really good one, and put the rest in just in a batch of eBay stuff, I think. And finally, with CEX credit, this is probably, apart from the stuff I got from Dave, best item. Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles with CEX credit. The credit I used for this cost a grand total of £2.50, and I've still got about £8 left. So I had £20 in total, and it cost me £2.50. So this probably roughly round about £1.50. Across the equivalent of, which makes perfect sense. So no, I mean, I'm not fooling myself. I mean, it is buy to trade up, sell on. It is essentially reselling. I'm not fooling myself. But yeah, this was on my list, and it's supposed to be pretty good. I think it was an adaptation of, or a port of, Rondo of Blood. Is that on Super Famicom? Enlighten me, please, if I'm wrong. Not like the. It's sort of level based, isn't it? But still has sort of diverging routes. And it's apparently got no. Hang on, I thought it was Rondo of Blood, because apparently Rondo of Blood is an unlockable, and so Symphony of the Night is an unlockable, but quite difficult to unlock, I think. Yeah, hang on. Enhanced version of the classic Dracula X Rondo of Blood. But then the original Rondo of Blood is unlockable, so you get essentially two versions of the same game. But then you do get Symphony of the Night on top, which is good. So yeah, 12 quid. I think that's round about the money. So that was generally my, apart from one eBay purchase, my roundabout stuff. And from Dave, I'm a game geek. Oh bollocks! It's gone under the. Yeah. Dave wanted to send me a game because he's a diamond geezer. He's straight up top lad. There's not really much you can say about Dave. Really, he's just brilliant, and he wanted to send me a game, but he actually turned into a bit of a trade. But initially, he was willing to send me one of these games, without getting anything in return. But like I said, so because that's the sort of bloke he is. I've got a little note here. If I can read his handwriting. In these games with Ryan, mate, I have included a bonus, but you will probably have it. No, I didn't actually. I didn't have it. We'll keep you in mind if anything else pops up and the games you sent are mint. Many thanks, Dave. Cheers, Dave. The bonus was a game that I've always intended to buy but never actually got round to it. It's Conduit. And one of the reasons why I've never got round to it, because I only ever saw sort of the one with that sleeve, or if it did have the sleeve, it didn't have the little strategy guide. So I wanted the whole thing, and then so lo and behold, that's what Dave sent me, which is amazing. You know, slightly uncanny that you know, bit weird that it just things sort of matched up. You know, I'd always intended to buy it, and somehow Dave had a sixth sense, and he sent me it as a Brucey bonus. So cheers for that, Dave. But the main element of what Dave wanted to send me is brilliant. It's he said he had a spare copy of Greatest Galaxies, which I think I think in PAL territories it's something different. It's Gradius. Somebody tell me what it is in PAL territories. I'm sure it is, but the game's brilliant, really good. And this is in Great Nick. You know, Greatest Galaxies. Dave wanted to send me that for free, but cheers, Dave. So that's all my stuff. Like for me, anyway, short and sweet. 21 minutes. That was it. Bloody hell, this is how I very nearly bought. I was that close to buying a UK English copy of Rule of Rose. I've got bookmarks on certain pages on Amazon marketplace pages. One of them is Rule of Rose, and this listing popped up for £35. Would have been about 37 with postage. But it didn't really have any details other than the fact it said it was all complete and it was in good condition. So I messaged the seller, and just to confirm what the language was, I asked him, what's the language? And he said, oh yeah, it's actually in English. But then he goes, no, initially, the first line of the email, the reply was, sorry, there's been a mistake with the price. It is all in English though. I checked again and it'd either been bought or I'd removed it. I'm not convinced if I had bought it, I'm not convinced he would have honoured it. I'm guessing he might have got a lot of interest on the basis of the price, and also, potentially people taking a punt, because it was a good price anyway. I think Rule of Rose probably cost you about £40, so it's a decent price. But I'm guessing this is what I'm guessing happened. He figured out that maybe he got some interest to do with the language, because if it's in English, which is has sort of slightly legendary status, because it does exist, but not everybody knows it exists. But so £35 would have been a really good price for an English version of Rule of Rose. But I slept on it. No, I didn't sleep on it. I got my email back and it had gone. Bastard! I bet he removed it. Probably sold it on eBay or sold it somewhere else. Bastard. Oh, that's me. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else to say. Apart from look out for my lovely film. This is sort of like a film review video. It just goes on for ages. It's 7 films. 7 films. So it's not 6 minutes of film, I suppose. I was thinking I'll divide them up into individually 6-minute videos, but then there's no time element with that, because it's basically about films I've watched recently. If I divide it up in just 6-minute lots, they could have happened any time. It's like with my pickups videos, they're it's almost like a diary. So they go out of date. I don't like certain videos that people make, like reviews and collection videos. Well, maybe not so much collection videos, but they're timeless. But pickups videos are they're of the time, aren't they? It's the same with. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right. It's 25 minutes. Yeah, look out for my lovely film video. It's great. It's really good. Brilliant. So I'll let you go. Footy on later. Gonna watch that. Aston Villa. Just watched Arsenal draw with Man City. It's good. Entertaining. People walk past my window. See you later. That's a minute of literally saying a couple of words. I need a sign out, don't I? I've always needed. I've been doing this nearly 4 years now. Over 4 years. Way over 4 years. I've always needed a sign out. So otherwise it just goes on forever. So see you later. Thanks for watching.